Alright guys, I hope you're all having a good one today. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video guys, I'm going to go ahead and talk to you whether or not if you should be selling on eBay or TCGPlayer. This video is going to be a long segment video for those who are just getting into selling cards online. If you're already an experienced seller, this is not a video for you. You can definitely click out of this video right now. But if you are anybody who is a beginner, who has a beginner understanding of selling cards, and if you've only sold a few, maybe on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or even to your neighbors or in like something where it was physical, and you're interested in selling cards online, whether that's Magic the Gathering cards, whether that's Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and Pokemon cards. If you're interested in doing that, then definitely stick around in this video, and hopefully this video will be of use to you. I'm going to go ahead and uncover my experiences so far from selling on eBay, both eBay and TCGPlayer, and just give you just an analysis of what I think, which ones are better, which ones are, obviously not better, because there's definitely like pros and cons to both, I would say, but more of just like, what is something that you would want to like keep in mind when you're first starting out before getting into selling cards, whether that's on TCGPlayer or eBay. Those are the main ones that I would go with. Other than that, like Facebook Marketplace and like and any other like secondary like brands I wouldn't go through, like even Whatnot or Macari, I wouldn't even go through those. Just my opinion. I have not sold on those before, so yeah. So go ahead and sit back, relax, guys, and I'm gonna go ahead and uncover a lot of things and just kind of give you guys just a general breakdown and just my analysis. So let's go ahead and talk about my experience of what I did when I first started selling cards. So when I first started selling cards, I immediately started on eBay. This is before I even heard about TCGPlayer. I didn't know anything about TCGPlayer. And the thing about eBay that I think is going to be, I think it was going to give you the edge as a seller. So that's my first thing I want to say, my first point. You should start on eBay first. You should start eBay. Do not start a TCGPlayer yet. I'll get into why you don't want to start a TCGPlayer yet, because it can be confusing at first. I was very confused when I first started my TCGPlayer account. But with eBay, it's very self-explanatory. Literally, you make an account on eBay, you make your account, you're a seller, and it goes to ask you a bunch of questions. And then after you do that, basically, you're ready to sell. Basically, you're ready to sell anything. So if you have a lot of collections and stuff like that, like if you have a binder, if you have bulk, anything like that that you are holding on to and you want to get rid of, I would say eBay is definitely the place you would want to do it. So let me go ahead and get into the reasons why you should sell on eBay first. So the reason why you want to sell on eBay first is because you want to basically learn the skill of how to sell. Learn the skill of how to sell. It's not as easy as throwing up a card on eBay and just it sells. It doesn't work that way. There's a lot of steps and there's a lot of processes that goes into doing that, and you need to develop the skill. Because if you don't develop the skill, I really feel you're going to waste a lot of time if you go move on to TCGPlayer. TCGPlayer is more long term. That's what I'm going to get into a little later into this video. But with eBay, you want to start off with obviously selling cards on there and learn how to sell. So going into eBay, when I first started my eBay, I had no idea what I was doing. I just got back into the TCG hobby about 6 months ago, and I had no clue. Because when it comes to selling, or on eBay, you have to know everything. You have to know obviously the set you're selling, right? Because there's so many reprints of cards. You have to know what set you're selling. You need to know how to list the card. You need to know, shipping methods, and as well as descriptions and the condition of the cards. That is all skill. That is something that you should definitely learn the first 3 months of your selling career. You should do eBay strictly so you can learn these skills, because it's very important. You need to understand the customer's point of view. It's about the customer, it's not about you, right? You have to understand the customer's psychology. What does the customer want when they're going through the eBay listings or whatever listings in general, whether that's on TCGPlayer or eBay? When they're going through their listings, and if someone wants to buy a card, you have to understand the psychology of the customer. What are they looking for? You have to put yourself in their shoes, right? A customer is going to want to know the condition of the card. The customer is going to want to know what set is that card from, because pretty much every card has been reprinted at this point. It's very important to know what set it's coming from, okay? Cool. Descriptions. Is the card fresh out of a pack? Has it been in your binder this whole time? Has it been in a little storage box in your garage somewhere? Those are important details you have to highlight on your eBay listing, because The more you're specific and transparent on your listing, the better odds you are going to be able to sell that card. So that's all it's skill. You're not gonna be able to do that on TCGPlayer, but when you move on to TCGPlayer, you need to know those skills before you start selling TCGPlayer, because if you don't know those skills, TCGPlayer can become really, really, really frustrating, especially when you're first starting off on TCGPlayer. So, like I said, when I first started, I started on eBay. I sold hundreds of cards, and I sold a lot, mostly Yu-Gi-Oh cards, because I didn't know anything when I first got back in the hobby. I was barely in the Pokemon. I only knew about Yu-Gi-Oh, and I didn't know anything about Magic the Gathering. Right? This was before. This is right around like when I first started my store back in August of 2022. So I sold Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I did pretty well. And I was buying cards from shops, local card shops, Walmart's, Targets, and keep this in mind, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of just give you just a general warning. When you're first starting out selling cards, you got to keep in mind that your profits, you may not profit for a while. You might be taking some losses for quite some time. Because let's say you buy a booster box, most booster boxes are not going to be able to make your money back just by off of a few cards. Like if you buy a Yu-Gi-Oh set, good luck trying to make your money back just on one secret or two secrets that you get in a booster box. It's rare that it happens, but you have to be willing to take some losses when you're first starting out. You just want to get your feet wet. You want to know how to sell cards, because over time, once you know how to sell cards, once you know the customer psychology, then you're going to be able to make good profits in the long run, right? And that's over on TCGPlayer side, in my opinion. So when you're first starting off on eBay, you need to master your listings. And I'll make a different video of how to master your listings on eBay, what you can do. But those are the general things you have to understand. The customer is looking for the condition of the card, the what set's from. Is it fresh out of a pack? Is it in a binder? Is it a slab? Is it graded? Is it non-graded? Those things are very important. So I would say when you're first starting out, you want to start off on eBay. Learn the skills to know how to sell cards. Once you learn the skills, do this for a few months, sell a few hundred cards, or sell at least 100 cards. If you can sell at least 100 cards off of eBay, then I would think you're at a very good point. You're at a good start of understanding. Once you sell 100 plus cards on eBay, then we want to move on to TCGPlayer. Now, TCGPlayer, there's a lot of complexities with TCGPlayer. It's very, very complex. That's why I like starting off on eBay first, because it's very simple. Once you list your card, eBay goes off of a SEO system. So when you list your card can be like the third or fourth listing on for that category of card. Like let's say you're looking for a I don't know, like a Charizard base set, right? I know that's a really expensive card, but let's say you have one, right? And you do all listings, blah blah blah, you type it in, blah blah blah, and you list it, right? You may be like the third or fourth listing on the search engine when someone goes to look for that specific card, right? Whereas on TCGPlayer, it's more of just how much have you sold is basically how they're going to rank your listing. That's what gets people frustrated when they're first selling on TCGPlayer when they're brand spanking new. So with TCGPlayer, after you sell 100 cards, let's say, right, on eBay, move on to TCGPlayer. When you first make a TCGPlayer account, you make an account, basically it's like easy stuff, blah, blah, blah. You make an account, sign up, whatever, right? Once you do all that, you start off as a level 1 seller. What does a level 1 seller mean? It means that you are an entry-level seller on TCGPlayer, and TCGPlayer is able to recognize that you are level 1. So basically there's 4 levels. Obviously level 1, 2, 3, and 4. And basically the lowest level you're at, basically your listing is going to be on the back page of pretty much every single card you list. Like there's so many listings. There are going to be listings for 600 different listings. You're going to be in the back because you're level 1. Okay, so in order to get ranked up and stuff into your TCGPlayer account, you need to obviously fulfill the requirements for each level. And TCGPlayer is going to have the requirements to fulfill for each level. So that way, the more levels you go up, the more your listing gets pushed in the front. You definitely want to be on the front page for every. You want to be on the front page for every single listing as much as possible when you're on TCGPlayer, and that's basically at level 4. When you're a level 4 seller, your listing will definitely be, for the most part, be on the front page for every single card that you list. So with TCGPlayer, you have to understand that there's a lot of things to it, and I can definitely make a different separate video for TCGPlayer. I'm gonna say for long term, now we can talk about like comparing like eBay and TCGPlayer. I'm gonna say TCGPlayer is definitely long term basis for selling singles, raw cards, and everything like that. It's a lot better long term, and the profits are actually a lot better if you do the math and you analyze it the way you analyze it. If you take your data and you just analyze it from that standpoint. So, and the advantages that you have with TCGPlayer that you don't with eBay is you can list cards fast. I can list 100 cards in 1 hour on TCGPlayer, whereas the disadvantage on eBay is that if you're brand new and you're not fast at listing, like when I first started, like I was not fast at listing, but for you to list 20 cards, that's how long it takes me. 20 cards takes me about an hour on eBay, right? So that's why with eBay you want to learn the skill, right? It's very important to learn the skills. So what's better? That's why you came to my channel, right? This channel, I'm not gonna go into like the levels of TCGPlayer. I'm not gonna go into like more specifics on eBay. It's just what you should start off when you're first selling cards. What is better? I'm gonna say eBay. For the reasons I gave the first few minutes of this segment of this video, eBay is gonna be your number one thing you want to go with, so you can develop the skills of how to sell cards online and basically build a customer base. You're able to build a customer base on eBay, and people will become returning buyers, and they'll just keep buying from your stuff just because of the reputation you've built for yourself on eBay. It's very good. I like starting off on eBay first. It's an SEO system where your card can be literally like the fourth listing on the search engine on eBay, whereas you go on TCGPlayer, it does not matter if you have 10,000 cards, you've never sold one item on TCGPlayer. They're moving all your listings in the back, in the back. And think about Google, right? If you go on Google, you search something on Google, and you want to basically find the thing you're looking for on Google. You want to find the first thing that's on the page. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for whatever it is, and at your convenience, you want to find on the first page on Google, right? That's how TCGPlayer basically works. Nobody's gonna go on page 38 to find a listing of your card of 38 other pages of the same exact card. Everyone wants to buy the card that's on the literally the first or second page, no more than the second page of the listing. So I'll go into that in a different video, guys, but this segment is just about basically how to get started selling cards. If you're brand new, never sold a card before, if you want to get started into this industry, I recommend selling on eBay. If you guys like today's video, give me a sub, give me a like, and stay tuned for more videos, guys. I will be coming out with more videos of different breakdowns of how to sell and how to get started in your TCG selling career, guys. I hope you all have a good one, great weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy, guys.